I told myself that I was never going to Sanford again. But then when they told me they were not going to arrest the person who had shot and killed my son, I packed my bags that night. I listened in the courtroom while they told me that my son was armed with the sidewalk, which is just ridiculous.
She is the mother of Trayvon Martin and the founder of the Trayvon Martin Foundation. She is Sybrina Fulton.
He was 17 years old. You cannot tell me that a 17-year-old was any match for a 28-year-old grown man. Every now and then I would hear on the news, Trayvon caused his own death. That bothered me. I don't know how much shame it cost me, but I overcame it. When you have dirty clothes, you don't put your dirty clothes on so the world could see. You wear your clean clothes and you come out the house presentable. So that's basically what I did. You didn't see me when I was on my floor crying. I came from a long line of strong black women. I watched them raise their families. I watched them get an education. That's who shaped me. Trials and tribulation don't build character, it reveals it. I think about other women and other mothers, and I tell myself any other mother would have did the same thing. They just want to get a reaction, and most of the time I don't give them what they want. Our children matter.
Yes.
We have to say that. If we don't, then people forget that our children matter as well.
Shame is something that I believe all of us have experienced. We may not recognize that whatever undeserved shame may be the source of our superpower.
I'm Suzan McDowell.
I am Teri Williams. I am the great-grandchild of my honey, and you're watching Who's Your My Honey? Today on Who's Your My Honey, we did something that we've never done on this show before. We asked our guests about the shame the world tried to hand her at the worst moment of her life and what she did when she refused to take it. She is the mother of Trayvon Martin and the founder of the Trayvon Martin Foundation. She is the mother of a movement and founder of the Circle of Mothers movement. Welcome, Sybrina Fulton, to Who's Your My Honey? Thank you for being here. I'm going to tell you a personal story, which is sort of the foundation of this show. And it's actually with a friend of ours, Adonis Parker. As you know, we commissioned him to do a mural on the bank. Trayvon is actually in that mural, and you came to the unveiling. While we were working on that project, Adonis asked me, "Who are you? And how did you get to be here?" Well, I went to Brown University. I majored in economics. I went to work at Bank of America. I went to work at American Express, Harvard Business School, and met my business partner, now husband, and we bought 4 banks and changed our name to One United Bank. And he's like, "No, that's not what I'm asking." And so I paused because my answer had been my answer to everyone that asked me that question. So this is the first time somebody didn't take my answer. And I said, "You know what? I think it's because of my great-grandmother. We called her my honey. I don't know if you know Indiantown, railroad track. Black people live on one side in Booker Park. White people lived on the other. Black side of town, she owned a penny candy store. I used to work at the store. She owned a barbecue pit. She owned a bunch of rental property, and I used to go with her to collect rent." And I'm like, I think that's how I became who I am. I think I'm my honey. I realized that when I went from Indiantown to Brown, they made me feel ashamed of coming from Indiantown. And in that process, I just forgot that part of my story and forgot my great-grandmother. And I also realized that she was the reason I was successful at Brown and at Harvard Business School. I now call it undeserved shame. They were giving me undeserved shame for who I was and where I came from. And I accepted it and then buried it and buried her. And I also realize now that it's the source of my superpower. So we're here to ask you, who is your my honey?
My situation probably is not as easy, or I would say I have more than one. And so I'm really from Miami. I am a 100% Miami girl, and
Born and raised?
born and raised. And I grew up with my great grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother. And so I have the trio. I have the whole package. So and I tell people all the time, I came from a long line of strong Black women. You know, I watched them raise their families. I watched them get an education. I watched them cook. I watched them clean. I watched all of those things. And so that's who shaped me. A lot of people didn't grow up with a grandmother and a great grandmother. I happen to have had both. And my great grandmother and my grandmother passed away, but my mother is still living. And so I would say my ma honey is the trio: my great grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother.
Was there any point in your life where you were presented with undeserved shame?
I can't remember anything specific other than the situation with my son, where people really didn't realize and they didn't understand what was going on. I listened in the courtroom while they told me that my son was armed with the sidewalk, which is, just ridiculous. He was 17 years old. And so you cannot tell me that a 17-year-old was any match for a 28-year-old grown man. And so I wouldn't pay attention to it much, but every now and then I would hear on the news, or I would read something that said, oh, Trayvon caused his own death and things like that. So, that bothered me. I don't know how much shame it caused me, but I overcame it, because those people were not supporters.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't know Trayvon.
No, they absolutely didn't
know.
And so, you got your haters out there, that's what make you great. Sometimes you have to pay attention to that, because your friends will hype you up and your family will lift you up. And so sometimes you need to hear, other things that people are saying, and it's just going to push you forward even more. And I believe that's what it did for me.
In that moment, and thank you for sharing that, we all witnessed you. I remember exactly where I was when I witnessed you. And I was astounded by your grace, by your composure.
Like elegant.
Like elegant.
As you're in the middle of this terrible situation, you're so, I remember the same thing, like I was so proud of you. You know what I mean? You really showed up like that. Like it was astounding. It really was.
It was astounding. It was, and it was such an example for us as moms. I have a son. And how did you do that? I don't mean that to sound like, where did that come from? Like, did you know you had that in you?
I absolutely did not. And I would always tell my mom, I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know. And she said, just be yourself. Even my pastor shared something with me when I told him, I don't know how I'm going to do this, because I was at that particular point, I was headed off to, I think, New York in order to do some media or whatever. And he told me, he says, trials and tribulations don't build character, it reveals it. And so, my pastor told me that.
Wow.
It reveals who you are.
Arthur Jackson.
Yeah.
And he said, just be yourself, just be who you are. And I was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, And when they did offer training to us, we didn't want it. We wanted to be authentic,
be
and we
authentic,
wanted to be ourselves. And so a lot of times, you know, I think about what happened, and I think about other women and other mothers, and I tell myself, any other mother would have did the same thing. And that's how I rationally think about it in my mind. I think that's what any other mother would do. And so we are programmed to protect our young. And so I told myself that I was never going to Sanford again. But then when they told me they were not going to arrest the person who had shot and killed my son, I packed my bags that night. And so I think it was instinct. I think it was the mama bear in me. And I use that term. I always say mama bear, but I think that's what it was. It was the mama bear in me that said, okay, Trayvon is not here. Let me go speak on behalf of Trayvon. And his dad was already there, but I guess they wanted to hear from the mom. It's something about the moms. And so I packed my bag that night and we took off. And from that day to this one, continue to speak on behalf of my son.
So from this journey, because it's now been
14 years.
14 years.
Wow.
Do they still try to put that undeserved shame on you? Or have they just realized?
Well, you know, the environment and the culture that we have, there are always going to be haters when it comes to people of color. And so I just believe that's what their job is. Their job is to say negative things, you know, even when they don't know the facts, even when they don't know what they're talking about, they don't care. They just want to get a reaction.
Yeah.
And most of the time I don't give them what they want. So I'm not their robot, you know, so you can't say stuff and I respond when I feel like I need to, but it's not always necessary to respond. Sometimes you need to just let it go and let it ride. And that's what I do sometimes.
Do you think, and I want to make sure I get in co-host here.
I'm like, you want to hear it.
But do you think that, maybe this sounds obvious, but that the strength that you had came from your great-grandmother, your grandmother, your mom?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Was your grandmother or your great-grandmother still living at that time 14 years ago? Or
No.
Just your mom? Just your mom?
My grandmother had just passed away like 2 years before Trayvon.
Okay.
Yeah, she had just passed away. And then my grandmother had passed away like in maybe about 8 years before that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I grew up with both of them. I grew up, you know, going over them cooking dinner at 2:00.
Mm.
We could eat dinner at 6 or before, like 4:00 when we got out of school, we could have dinner. But they were so funny. They took them living together. They would watch the stories. They would cook their dinner early. They would wait until, you know, a certain amount of family came over before they put the cornbread muffins in. I mean, they was
the
just
Jiffy.
It was just so cute. You know, everything about them was just so cute, you know, and I just miss them so much. And I do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I got to wait, let the family come over. Or when I'm cooking on Sunday, I let the family come over. And when they on their way, that's when I put the cornbread muffins in so they can have hot bread.
20 minutes, Jiffy.
Yeah. So, yeah, they definitely are responsible for shaping who I am.
Yeah. Do you also, this is going to be maybe a hard question.
There are no hard questions.
Okay.
You probably had them all.
Yeah.
Do you also recognize the impact that you have had, I want to say on the world, but I want to also talk about with other moms? Did you realize it at the time?
No,
too?
definitely
you
not.
did not. So
no.
we were up there like,
yeah,
and you didn't have any idea that you were.
No. I'm working on my second book now, and I was battling an illness that nobody knew about. And
at the time?
At the time. And so I didn't want people to know that I was battling an illness because I didn't want you guys to feel sorry for me.
Mm.
Little did I know that you were already feeling sorry for me. So my mind wasn't even you know,
It's a new situation. It's not like you've been there before.
Yeah, but it wasn't registering to me, and it just felt like, you know, I'm just doing what I need to do for my son. So it's going to be in the second book, and I'm going to talk about the illness that I had. And some lady told my brother, tell your sister to check this, and I said, oh, tell her she doesn't know what she's talking about. And I mean the works, but no, I did not know the impact that I had, not only on the mothers, but on so many people in the world. I did not know. It was brought to my attention. I do this event every year called Circle of Mothers that y'all familiar with.
Yeah.
And I bring mothers in. It's about healing and empowerment. We exercise, we hug, we laugh, we cry, we dance, we drink, we do all of those things together.
And these are mothers just
These are mothers, I call them angel moms. And these are moms who've lost a child through senseless gun violence, car accident, overdose, illness, just everything. And so when I first started with the Circle of Mothers, I've been doing it like for over 10 years now. But when I first started, I would sit in a seat also because I'm one of the mothers that lost a child. And so I would help put everything together, and then I would sit down and I wouldn't speak. And what happened was maybe my second year or third year, we started passing out surveys. And one of the things that I kept seeing in the survey was that they wanted to hear from me. And I'm thinking, like, why?
Because you're the mother of a movement.
Why would you want to hear from me? Like, I'm going through the same thing you all are going through. You want to hear from me? And I would bring people in, and, you know, I've had Ayanna Van Zandt, I had A.J. Johnson, I had Lisa Nichols. I would bring these different people in, the experts to talk to the moms. And I just really didn't know until the survey really indicated that they wanted to hear from me. So every year during the Circle of Mothers, I make sure that I speak because it helps, you know, and I make sure I do the Circle of Mothers because it helps me also. So after I do my speaking and give them my little spiel about what I did and how I am still healing, I take my seat and I enjoy the rest of the retreat.
I think it's because of your grace. I just remember being like, if that was me, I would have fallen on the ground, rolled around, crying. It would have been a whole separate conversation. And I feel like when we looked at you, we were so proud of the way that you carried yourself. And like, what were you thinking on the inside?
Well, the part that you just mentioned about rolling around is the part you did not see. And I'm going to explain it like this. When you have dirty clothes, you don't put your dirty clothes on so the world could see.
Yeah.
You keep your dirty clothes in a hamper and you wear your clean clothes and you come out the house presentable. So that's basically what I did early on. I came out the house presentable. You didn't see me when I was on my floor crying. You didn't see me when my sick days. You didn't see me when I was knocking all the stuff off the dresser in the hotel room where the reporter probably pissed me off or whatever, or said something, or something happened, something continuously was happening when we was going through the trial. You didn't see that part because I didn't want you to see that part. And so I felt that was my personal feelings and how I felt personally. That was one of the reasons why I didn't stay in the courtroom when they delivered the verdict. I didn't want to stand. I didn't want people to see my reaction. And so they encouraged us to stay. Oh no, stay here, stay here, stay here. I was like, I'm not. I'm not anybody's drama show. I'm not anybody's. No, we're not doing this. And so I was adamant about it. The attorneys talked to me, my mom, you know, my family, even Tracy was like, well, they want us to I'm like, listen, I'm going home.
Not doing it.
When they did their closing arguments, I was done. We was done. They can tell us whatever they have to tell us. If they had a question or whatever, then they can ask the attorneys or whatever. I was done. And I got on the road that day and I was like, if you guys are not going to take me, I will get a rental car and I'm leaving. I'm leaving this place. And I did. Wow. Because some things are private. Some things are, you know, I was already going through a trial in public. And so I just felt like some of my feelings needed to stay to myself and stay to my family, and and that's what I made sure happened.
Even that, like you made that decision given all the pressure that was under you, to be, as you called it, a drama show for somebody else. I
would have been a drama show, let's just say I would have been.
No,
I'm so grateful you.
No, but you had that strength. That superpower. That's I don't know any other way to describe it. Although I feel like for you it was just
be yourself.
You being Sybrina.
But for the rest of us, it was a superpower. For the rest of us who watched it, who thought, like, you know what I mean? That wouldn't have had your composure, wouldn't have had your discipline. Is really discipline. It was like watching. It was watching superpowers, like watching somebody sit through something that was excruciating. No, you had to be, and you still sat there with your posture and your elegance, and you sat and you watched them say all this stuff, and you never broke. You never cracked. And I'm sure, like, as soon as you got in your car, you broke down and you cried. But
Tracy and I were writing things, and wasn't nice things that we were writing on the paper, but that was a little outlet right there.
You mean while it was going on?
But we wrote the whole time. The whole time we passed a notepad back and forth. We would bring a notepad there. He have his pen, I have my pen, and we passing the notepad. And we cussed and we said whatever we needed to say, and we were saying a bunch of lies, and we said whatever. It was some stuff on that notepad.
Yeah.
And so, it was definitely some stuff on that notepad. But I just didn't, that was the first time. It's like we were thrown out there. When my mom wasn't with me in the courtroom, like she would come like a couple days, and then my sister would come, we had to, mix things up. But my mom didn't come this particular time. And I got up to go to the restroom. And when I got up to go to the restroom, the news said that I ran out of the room in tears, right? I went to the restroom. I went to the restroom.
Wow.
So then when I got back to my seat, I looked at the text message, and my mom was asking about me. She said, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And I was like, "Nothing. I went to the restroom." Like it was like crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, see, that right there bothered me, because I don't want her to worry about me.
Yeah.
And then I had a godmother.
Oh yeah.
She passed away during COVID. But she would be up watching the news at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. And so now it just got to her after a few days, and she actually called me while I was in the hotel, took my shower. I'm in bed, right? Mm-hmm. The phone is ringing. It's like 11:30. I'm thinking something is wrong. I'm like, hello? She's like, Sybrina, this is Miss Myrick. You okay? I said, what happened? I want to know what happened.
Around.
What happened?
Something else happened.
She said, I'm watching the news. I said, please, no, I'm fine. If I'm not, I'll call you. I said, no, I'm fine. Don't listen to all of those things. And she was an older lady. Mm-hmm. She was in her 80s at the time. Wow. And so those are the people that I was concerned about. I felt like, okay, I got to deal with this. I have to deal with this justice system, but I don't want you to worry about me. And my mom did a lot of worrying. My mom and dad did a lot of worrying. But we made it. We made it. They would come. They would have dinner with me, because we had to go up the road to Sanford, and we had to be there every day. We felt like we had to be there every day. It was a circus outside. I mean, when I say circus, they had so many tents outside.
Oh, wow.
I probably hadn't seen that since Anna Nicole and Michael Jackson. The crazy tents outside with all of this media. When we first pulled up, what happened here?
You're really the mother of a movement. Like, if people were to think about, like, when this awareness started. I mean, Black Lives Matter was created because of you. Black Lives Matter. That's a huge thing. I mean, and like, how does it, like, do you feel like it feels like you have a big burden on you, like.
Well, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Because when people lose a child, they feel like I'm the person to
that
call.
they can come in.
And I'm not always the person to call because I'm not always in the right headspace.
And you want to talk about it.
Mentally, I'm not always the person to call. And that's why it's important that we have Circle of Mothers, because you can connect with other mothers and not everybody,
dump it all on you.
Yeah. And I can help you if you need an attorney. I can actually help with the Circle of Mothers and bringing other mothers together and things like that. But as far as talking you off the roof, if I'm your person, we probably both getting ready to jump. Mm. And so, I wish people would, have an outlet, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a close friend or a family member or a church member, just somebody that they can talk to.
So when I realized that there was a need for this conversation, the first person I thought of was you. It's not just because of the grace you showed, but it is also because the amount of public undeserved shame that they were trying to put your family through. And I think about my little story of forgetting my honey that nobody knew about. The other day someone said, well, how could people made you ashamed of my honey when they never even heard of it?
Yeah, good point.
Trayvon Martin is Trayvon. That's why you didn't have to say Trayvon.
You didn't say last name.
Trayvon. His picture. So your experience is probably the furthest that at least I can think of undeserved shame that is, that if it's not, you can call it your superpower, I would say it's our superpower. You have created a movement that has given us all superpower.
Yeah. We
all know in these environments, we all know if we get that call in the middle of the night,
what it looks like.
Not only what it looks like, but how we need to.
Yeah, how it's going to show up.
How we need to show up.
Yeah.
Like you. And I want to give you your flowers. I know you get flowers all the time, but
I love flowers.
But I want to give you your flowers. This was before I had even met you. I still remember the day I met you. I didn't meet you.
You met me in California.
Yeah, in California.
Oh, yeah.
That was
like
2013 or 2014.
Yeah.
I think it was before the trial.
Your sister was still with us.
Yes.
Remember, she came with you, right? I'm sorry to bring that. I know.
No, that's not that sister that came with me.
Oh, it's not?
No, it wasn't. This the one, the sister that passed away in 2024 is the one that ran the foundation. She actually quit her job. And
so the sister that came with you is still with us?
Yes.
What's her name?
Oh.
Yeah, Yolanda.
Yolanda, okay.
Yeah, Yolanda.
Okay, well, I want to see Yolanda.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Yolanda since then.
Yeah, she's around.
Yeah,
she's around.
Okay.
So it's three girls.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, but when I feel like I met you was that when you were on my TV screen, and you, again, showed us your superpower.
You represented us.
You
really represented us.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I mean, it's just going to make me stronger. It's just going to help me to inspire other women, because I truly believe in giving back. Somebody looked out for me. And even though you probably don't know this, but Tupac Shakur's mother was my first keynote speaker at my Circle of Mothers. And so I didn't feel like anybody knew what I was going through. Of course, people lost children, but I didn't know them and I didn't meet them. And so she was the first one that reached out to me, and I felt like, okay, she knows what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Like, people were actually telling me that they lost their cat, their dog, their grandfather, and stuff like that. And I was like, You don't really know
Can't
what I'm
compare,
going
yeah.
through. But when she reached out, I felt like she really knew what I was going through. And so ever since then, it's my mission, and I feel obligated that I need to give back to moms.
So can we actually just take a moment to talk about the Trayvon Foundation and what your work is now? Because I think,
Well, we just came off a 2-day weekend, a remembrance weekend. Every year, Trayvon's birthday was February 5th. So what we do is the peace walk. We do the remembrance weekend. We do the peace walk because we truly believe that Trayvon had a right to walk in peace without being followed, chased, profiled, or murdered. And so we want to send that clear message out every year around his birthday. I celebrate his birth and not his death. A lot of people, go posting and doing all of this stuff. I do it for his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And so around the 1st of February, we usually do the peace walk. It's here in Miami. We try to invite as many people as we can to just come out and walk with us. It's like a rolling peace walk. We start at Carroll City Park and we walk down to Betty Ferguson, and the police department is there and they walk with us and they make sure they block off the streets because we feel like we walking with a purpose. Once we get to the Betty Ferguson, we have different speakers to inspire the crowd. It's not about feeling sad. It's not about feeling depressed. We got that anyway because of what's going on in the country. So we try to lift everybody up. We bring different speakers in. We bring some of the young people. We let a few politicians speak out and talk about, the community and bridging the gap between our young people and the community. And that's what it's all about. And then we have food trucks, we have music, it's really hyped up. That is on the Saturday. And then on Sunday, we usually do a gala, which is a sit-down dinner. That's a fundraiser for us. We try to raise money, as much money as we can, to do the programs that we need to do for the rest of the year. After that is my birthday. So 2 weeks after we do that is my birthday.
And purple must be your favorite color.
It is.
I just said she was purple down for her birthday.
Yes,
it was beautiful.
Yes, I was.
Very
so I
beautiful.
did a dinner party for the older crew. I call them my VIPs. My mom, my aunts, my friends' moms, all of those people came a little earlier and they had a sit-down dinner. They had dessert. I had somebody to sing. And then I gave them a little gift, a little purple bag that's a gift. And then we took pictures and everything. I still need to post some of them pictures too. And then I went home and changed. And then that night it was a dance party. But of course we had food, we had, nice decorations. My friends came out, my family came out. I really had a nice birthday. So.
And you look beautiful.
Thank you.
You did. I watched the whole thing on Facebook. You look fantastic. It was great.
I really had a nice birthday.
Yeah.
And so, I got a lot of gift cards and I got a lot of money and flowers and all of it. Just everything. And so so after the peace walk and the gala, then we do my birthday, and then we do Circle of Mothers. This year is going to be May 15th, 16th, and 17th. I just posted yesterday. So now I'm getting all of these calls because there's never a shortage of moms. It's usually the funding, and I try to stay right at 100 moms. And we're going to be doing a 3-day weekend. It's about empowering women. It's about healing. We exercise. We do a meet and greet. We do, kind of do some healing work with a psychologist. And then we have like a non-denominational church service. And so we do that, and then I ship them back home. And then we do, different things out the year. We do a toy drive. Mm-hmm. We give baskets for Thanksgiving. We used to go to the elementary school and read to the kids. Like, you know, we have a scholarship program. Our recipient is at Syracuse. She's graduating in May.
Oh,
She
congrats.
came from being our intern when she was like, I want to say, so 14 years ago.
Wow. Sybrina Fulton, let me just say your full name. Thank you for coming and sharing your story. Like we were talking, we didn't know where this was going to go, this conversation. But I'm so glad that you felt comfortable enough with us to share the part of your story that people didn't see. And your fortitude, your grace, your ability to sort of withstand the undeserved shame that people were not just putting on you and Trayvon, but really on all of us.
Oh, yeah.
It was sort of like our Black boys wearing hoodies were
Under
all
attack.
Under attack.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you stood firm and said,
You spoke up
that's
for Trayvon.
not my son.
Yeah.
Well, for Trayvon and all the other Trayvon.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
All the others.
Because what people, and this is something that I say all the time too, our children matter.
Yes.
You know, we have to say that.
Yes.
Because if we don't, then people forget that our children matter as well.
Exactly. So thank you for being you. Thank you for sharing your story here. Thank you for sharing your great-grandmother, your grandmother, and your mother, who are all your my honeys. We call ourselves the honeys.
Yes, we're the honeys.
And we hope to be the my honeys of
Yes.
future generations. You already are. And we just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Sybrina. We're big fans.
Thank you.
Suzanne and I would like to thank our executive producers, Kobe Proctor, Anya Mendoza, and Jessica Hurley, as well as the entire One United Bank, Circle of One Marketing, and Epic Media team. The Who's Your My Honey show was created in collaboration and produced by One United Bank and Epic Media. Recorded at the Hive Studio, this series is to amplify stories that transform undeserved shame into superpower, the resilience and leadership skills needed to build generational wealth and economic empowerment. If this conversation moves you, share it, subscribe, and join our community. Thanks.